Hi everyone, at Origins we had the chance to talk with Dave from Paverson Games about his game, Distilled.
He was nice enough to walk us through the components and gameplay and pieces, just so that we can kind of see everything all together and let you see it too.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm the designer of Distilled, owner of Paverson Games, and this is Distilled. There's lots of great beer games out there. There's lots of great wine games, but there's no games about making whiskey, the science and business behind it. So I decided to do that. You've inherited a distillery from long lost relative, one of 18 you can play in the game. It's your job to bring this distillery back to its former glory over the course of 7 rounds. You need to learn how to make some of these other upper level recipes over the course of the game. At the start of each round, you go to the market to get the stuff you need. That might be building your engine by investing in new upgrades. You install those back at your distillery on the 2nd level. That might be getting some ingredients as well that would go into your batch, or perhaps some fancy or not fancy bottles and barrels that are going to go into distribution for the market.
Now this is a game that we did back on Kickstarter, so we're excited to get our game in the mail at some point. Dave did say probably in December-ish, somewhere around there, depending on shipping delays and all that kind of stuff.
One thing I really enjoy about talking to the actual creators is that you can kind of get in their mind, or they can really just tell you what to focus on their game. Sometimes it's like, focus on everything because it's all great. But either way, it's no matter they point at one thing or they point at everything, you can hear the passion in their voice. You can just know that, like, oh, man, they really love that game.
So a few of my favorite components for Distilled that I really thought long and hard about this, each player marker go with a board specifically with that color. So we see here that this board has a hue of a kind of a red salmon color, while this one, for instance, a moonshine still, has a hue of green. So each player board, although mechanically the same, visually they're unique. The second one is our recipe card. This is our recipe board, interchangeable so that we can have 8 different tasting flights to choose from. Here's 2 of them, as well as place in a custom recipe for one of our distillers. So I'm playing as Angus from Scotland. So I get to have Angus's single malt whiskey as a one-time use signature recipe. And so this allows me to interchange while keeping something similar with having a dual layered board. And all copies of Distilled, there will be game trays in the box. Retail, Kickstarter, doesn't matter. Everybody will get that deluxeified experience, thematically holding all the components you see here, because what we see on the table right now is only probably about half of what you might find in the box when you get it.
Looking at the game in person, Dave said one of his favorite components are the player boards, and I have to agree. I love the dual layer nature of it, where you play your recipe cards and plus your other pieces on it. So the concept of the game is that you've inherited this distillery and you're trying to make different spirits, and so you got to gather resources. You can upgrade your distillery to make different things, or you can just gather the resources and just make like one small batch. So I love the different ways that you can go about trying to accomplish your goals in order to fill out your recipe card.
If time wasn't a major factor, I really would love to sit down with the creators and just have a whiskey in hand, have a drink, and just have them play and explain, like, oh, right here, this thing gave me such a hard time when I was designing it. Like, just having that nice conversation. If in the future that's something that could be possible when we go to these conventions, I would love to do that.
Paverson Games and Distilled is across most social media. You can find a Paverson Games Facebook page. We've got a Distilled group of members over 2,000 right now on Facebook. We're on Instagram for Distilled Game and Paverson. Twitter, same thing. And then we've also got a pretty robust Discord community as well.
That was a quick preview video of Distilled by Paverson Games.
What'd you think? Did you also back it? Depending on when you see this video, the late pledge might still be open, so check it out.
And if you're enjoying our content, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. If you want to see other Origin videos, check out our description below.
Until next time, I'm Lee.
I'm Kenny. I go party like a board gamer.